Welcome to What in the Wellness with Tiffany, where we have real conversations dedicated to helping women make holistic wellness easier. Through education, self-exploration, and actionable steps, mixed with a bit of laughs and real-life experience, What in the Wellness with Tiffany is meant to be your companion on your personal wellness journey. I'm your host, Tiffany Stewart, certified health coach, internationally featured wellness writer, business owner, info geek, loud laugher, and mom of two. I'm so happy that you're here with us. Let's get started. Did you know the air we breathe in our homes could be even more toxic than the air outdoors? According to the EPA, and I quote, "Inadequate ventilation can increase indoor pollutant levels by not bringing in enough outdoor air to dilute emissions from indoor sources and by not carrying indoor air pollutants out of the home." Some of these sources of air pollutants include building materials used for our furniture, household cleaning products, our heating and cooling systems, malfunctioning stoves, space heaters, and more. One way to combat this is by using a HEPA filter air purifier in your home. One of the most tested and loved air purifiers out there is the Air Doctor Pro. With 3 efficient filters that capture 99.9% of indoor air pollution and the ability to remove COVID-19 in the air. Yes, they just tested it. The Air Doctor Pro has become a must for our family. If you're interested in learning more about the Air Doctor Pro and receiving an exclusive discount, check out my full blog post linked in the show notes. And just in time for Black Friday 2021, from November 23rd, 2021 to December 7th, 2021, you can score a free replacement filter and free shipping with your discounted purchase, or the option to get 50% off one of your filters when you buy the larger unit. So be sure to check out my exclusive link in the show notes to find more information about Air Doctor Pro, or read my full blog post review in the show notes to learn more about the Air Doctor Pro and get a new air purifier for your home today. Hello friends, it's me again from my local Target parking lot with my daughter sleeping in the background. I don't know. I said it might be a thing, but really, if you know me from now, I just make content when I'm able to make it, because if you don't, sometimes it won't get done. So, welcome back to the What in the Wellness podcast with Tiffany. What in the Wellness with Tiffany. There we go. If you follow me on my lifestyle blog, it's me, Lady G. Everything will be in the description box, and you can go and check all that out. But if you follow me on that Instagram account and my stories yesterday, I don't know when this is going to be posted, but the other day, let's say in the last couple of days, I said that I might have to make a new Instagram page for the podcast. So if you aren't following, you will probably not find that one being active. But all the new links will be in the description box of this particular podcast, okay? And I do appreciate everyone that's given the podcast a rating so far. That really does help, and I really do appreciate you for your time and everything that you've taken the time basically to do that, because it really does help. Every now and then when I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing all this? When I see those and I see you guys, and ladies, mostly ladies, I always mess up and say that. I have to fix my default speech. But when I see those messages come through, that really helps, because even me, I get, the negative vibes sometimes overtake me, and I'm like, what am I doing? And why am I doing this? And what's the point? And then I got to find my why and come back to it. And then when I get confirmation by the messages and the rating, then I'm like, oh, okay, that's God talking to me. Like, okay, there you go. So today I really wanted to just check in, because I woke up this morning and I was thinking, like I mentioned really quickly just now, was that I've been a little in my head, and sometimes that happens when I start to get under the weather, or I'm sleepy and I'm not sleeping properly. I was sparked this morning, as I was mentioning, because I was feeling kind of down lately, and I had to come back to my why of like, why am I doing this? And then I had to figure out, how do I find the good in what's going on? Because when you are down, you have a tendency it's scientific reasons behind why your brain starts looking for, or has a hard time looking for, the good in things. And that's going to be a whole other workshop that I'm actually finishing up, and it will be live on the 28th of December. And I'll link that in the description box below, on how to stop negative thinking for good. It's like an actual science that I've kind of perfected. I want to, with quotation marks around it, because I know how to hack my brain in order to make myself feel better and to get myself out of the rut. It's been years in the making, and that's what I'm going to share in the workshop. But today I'm going to talk about just how do you start to look for the good. Like, people always like, look for the good in life and this and that and the other. And specifically today, when I woke up, I was like, I'm going to do this. Today's going to be better, because I don't like letting myself go down that rabbit hole of being, negative for a long time. And I started to allow myself to look for the good in this morning. And what the good that happened was, well, that's not the good, but I guess it is good. I woke up late. Thankfully, my son, he is not 20. Oh my goodness. No, he is 10 years old now. And he wakes up by himself because we got him an alarm, and that's part of his growing up. So he's very, very good with it. He wakes himself up once he hears the alarm. He goes in the bathroom, whatever it is. But there's still things he needs help with. I usually, make him some oatmeal in the morning, and make sure that he's done all the other things, because you know how boys are. Did you wash your face? And and did you do this? And, do you have the right socks on? And make sure he has whatever it is. And so I woke up late, and then I was rushing, and we got everything done, because he's been choosing to make sure he takes his lunch to school, but I didn't make anything. And so I had to, put that together real quick, and then get us out the door, because I'm taking my daughter as well when we go and drop him off. And the good thing that happened on the flip side of that was that somebody was actually at the door. When you go to drop your kids off, and then they're like, after this time, nobody's going to be at the door to open it up, and then you have to take them to the front, and they're going to be marked late. We get to the door to drop him off, and the person was there. And as soon as they opened the door to let him in, they left. And he was the last person that last kid he was letting in the door. And I was like, whoo, thank you, God. Because if not, he would have been marked late. So that was the good. That was the first good that happened today. And the reason why, that, I'm going to use that as a specific example. Figuring out how to use or look for the good in life comes down to those little decisions. There's two sides of that situation. Me waking up late, getting him to the door, and even having somebody there to open the door for him, and that him being the last kid that he's letting in. That whole situation right there, that scene, it's a choice of mine to look at it as something to be grateful about. The good in it was, I guess, the good in it, as I'm choosing to see it, is I did get a little bit extra sleep, even though I was rushed because of it. See, that's the bad. That's the choice of me if I'm going to look at it in two different ways. Let me back up and say, let's look at the good portions of that scene. The good portions of that scene is I woke up, I was able to wake up a little bit later. And if you can't hear, there's a little bit of congestion still in here. And that's really what's been messing me up as far as time lately, because my body has been stealing sleep in different places. But me being able to sleep a little bit longer, the good also is that I was able to get his lunch, which was a healthier version than whatever else that they were offering in school. I was able to get that done. I was able to get my daughter dressed with little to no fussing and us out the door and him getting to school and not being work late and being the last kid that they're letting into the school. Those are all the good things that I'm choosing. That's the point that I'm getting at. Choosing to look at in the situation. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, say, okay, I'm going to look at it as a negative, or the negative portions, or looking at it from a negative with negative glasses on, I would be like, oh man, I woke up late. And then, oh my goodness, I had to rush in order to get all his stuff done. And oh my goodness, he's really being a stickler about bringing food to school all the time. And so that makes me have to go and have to do extra things to make sure that there's enough food, or there's food there that he's able to take with him to lunch, or I would have to make something from scratch in order for him to bring to school for lunch. And then I could be like, oh my goodness, then I had to rush to get my daughter dressed. And oh my goodness, it's raining, which it is. And then, oh my goodness, we had to rush to get to the school, and he had to rush in order to get into the school itself. And why don't they allow some, extra time because it's raining outside, and don't they know there's a little bit more traffic? And why don't they let somebody else be at the door to allow a little bit more grace time on the day that it's raining? You get what I'm saying? These are all negative ways to look at the same scene. So I'm leaving that with you today as a clear example of how we have to start to really be mindful of the way that we are looking at any situation. That's just one scene and situation of this day. And it's literally still morning that I'm recording this. And so when we take a moment and look at our lives, every single day, as I mentioned already, is filled with a bunch of these little scenes. And we have to hack our brain in order to see the better parts of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Even if there wasn't somebody that was at the door to allow him into the school, and I had to take him in for him to be late. Thankfully, and this is me choosing those other things, he has not really been late in the whole school year in order, and so it's not that terrible. It's not that terrible if he was to be late. I mean, yes, that whole thing does not apply to let's say medical situations or whatever it is, but everyday little things that happen in life are not that heavy in order for you to think that it's terrible all the time. And when you really think about it, like being late, or like Starbucks not having enough of the cream or whatever it is, the syrup in the coffee that you like, or the place that you like grocery shopping has a longer line, and this and that and the other. It's not as terrible as other things that are worse in life, okay? And we have to choose to see the good in life and in the situations themselves, or else all you're doing is hacking your brain, conditioning your brain to see the negative. And when you try to condition your brain to see the opposite of negative, which is positive, obviously, then you will see more of those things. What happened to me after I dropped him off? After I dropped him off, I was able to when I get to Starbucks, I realized I had a reward. Okay. And I'm choosing to see that as a benefit or a good thing in the day. I realized I had a reward, so I was able to actually up my caffeine intake for the day. But that's a whole other conversation. And me and coffee have had a very complicated relationship. And I will probably have to get into that on a different podcast episode, because I do want to do more things that have to do with food and stuff. But the reason why I've been not doing that right off the back is because I think, and I know that people need to get in the right mindset in order to make changes. And that's what I've been trying to do more of, mindset things, because I could tell you eat broccoli and not drink soda and friggin' processed foods and a bunch of fried foods all the time. You know that. People know that already, but they choose not to do it. Why? Because they're conditioned to do things one certain way, and they see the change as being hard. And so what I've been trying to do is deal more with mindset things first. We'll get into that other stuff later, but the mindset of choosing to see certain things in certain ways for the better and making better choices, and just even the process of conditioning your mind to see and do better, those are more important, as what I've come to observe from watching people, watching clients, period. I'm choosing to make these episodes not very, very formal, because I want it to be like me speaking to a friend, and also that it's easier for me to get things done if I don't have to. If you listen to my last podcast, my episode, I keep saying podcast, episode, if I don't have to come back to it and touch it too much, then the content will get done. And sometimes being done is better than being quote unquote perfect, because in general, I think perfect is bullshit. And just for good measure, the last thing so far, and literally it's still morning, it's still early morning. The last thing that is good, has been good, and I'm choosing to see it as the good in the morning or in the day, is that my daughter is sleeping and I'm able to get this content out and this podcast out. So I hope that this helps who it needs to help. I hope you can hear the rain. It's incredibly, rain has always been inspiring for me. Like rain is usually a sign that I need to relax, and it allows me, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, today I can relax a little. It's raining. It's not like a hustle and bustle kind of day. And so I always have enjoyed rainy days. I sound crazy, but I hope this helps. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate all the support. I'm not just saying that. I'm very big on gratitude, and things happen when you are, thankful in a state of gratitude. And it's not just talking. I did do another workshop that is literally still available on stress relief and how to use gratitude for stress relief. It's available online now and streaming, and you can go and check it out in the description box. The link will be there. Matter of fact, here we go. I'm going to do a podcast related coupon code so that you can go and check that out at a discounted rate. Whoa, let's do that. Let's do What in the Wellness with Tiffany. That's the coupon code that we're going to use. What in the Wellness with Tiffany. If you put that in the checkout, you'll get a discount. I'm not sure what the discount is yet. Let's do 20% off. Okay. You'll get 20% off with the code What in the Wellness with Tiffany. That workshop combines like both things that I'm realizing the catch-all for me is like holistic scientific approach to things. It combines those things, a holistic scientific approach to stress relief using gratitude, and not just saying like, oh my God, I'm grateful and I'm in, in Marshall's and I see this stupid sign or whatever it is. I mentioned that in the workshop, but actually using like an actual visualization exercise in order for you to reduce your stress using gratitude practices. That's what I teach in the workshop. So if you want to go and check that out, you can get that at gratitudeforstressrelief.com, or it will be in the description box below, and use the code What in the Wellness with Tiffany and you'll get 20% off. Whoa, look how that works, right? And I hope that this touches the parts that needs to be touched of you, not in a creepy way. And I hope that you have a very good day, the rest of your day, night, whatever it is that you are listening to this. And I will see you, or not, you won't see me, or you'll hear me in the next episode. I'm like in my podcast, my YouTube mode rather. But thank you so much, and I will speak to you another day. Make sure to bring wellness into your life today and every day.